What's going on, guys, and welcome again to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna be kind of putting the spotlight on a fairly new house for me personally. I never heard of this house before they being gracious enough to send me all those sample pack and bunch of their fragrances. I've been having these for more than 2 months, could be even close to 3 months now, and I barely had the time to finish them all and just to get a good gasp of how they smell like, just to give you my thoughts on this fragrance. This house is not easy, guys. It's very challenging in a very good way, or sometimes bad. I'm gonna give you guys my favorite 5s and the fragrances that I absolutely hate from this collection, and I do hate few of them. But before I start bashing, I'm not gonna even bash, because hey, this house is awesome in my opinion, to be honest. I have to give this house the Notes Punch Award for being creative. This house, if I have to describe it in 3 words, it's very creative. It is definitely creative, unique. Some of those fragrances, they're extremely unique that I honestly never heard of, not heard of, smelled anything like it before, or awesome. Some of them, they're like really freaking awesome, and I'm like really in love with some of them that I'm just gonna have to definitely buy with my own money. And with that being said, let's just start off with my absolute hate, and that fragrance would be, let me look for it, yeah, Incognito or Incognito. This fragrance that I just said is absolute hate for me. It's extremely unique and different and awesome at the same time. I hate it, but I know it's awesome. The thing why I hate this fragrance, it reminded me of something of my youth. It wasn't really pleasant, as a matter of fact. It was disgusting, and I'm just gonna tell you guys in a minute. And because of that, every time I smell it, it kind of like upset my stomach, and I just can't get over it in my head. That's why I just absolutely hate this fragrance. But I honestly can tell a lot of people would fall in love with this challenging fragrance, because it's not an easy fragrance. It's challenging, very artsy, but it's pleasant. I would say it's somehow pleasant. So it's either you love it or you hate it, like 100%. And let me just, I'm gonna have to spray it back on my skin, just to remind myself. There's a bunch of fragrances here, so I'm trying to remind myself of it again. Yeah. Here's the thing, when you first spray it on, it's got that licoricey, star anisey, woody, spicy vibe. Hey, I'm originally from Morocco. It's a third world country, and I remember when I was a kid, you know, my family and my mom, they used to have like sheeps and this, and just slaughter them like at the rooftop. Inside the intestines of the sheep, they kind of like got this stripe, and it's full of the sheep's feces. That's how it smells like to me. It's got a lot of suede, which I can smell, and I think it's phenomenal. It's got some kind of like green, kind of like a licoricey thing that I despise, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to licorice. I don't think it's got licorice. It's very spicy, but once you get over this first minute, it gets better with time. But for now, I think now it's not bad at all. I think it's really nice somehow. But in the back of my head, I always associate that smell with that tribe feces thingy that I remember from when I was a kid. So that's why I don't like it. But I can totally see that a lot of people would definitely love this one. And if I have to tell you guys a fragrance that you must try from this house, I would probably say Incognito or Incognito as my #1, because of how different it is. And it's very nice actually, despite that tribe thingy that I just can't get over it, to be honest. My #2 most hated fragrance from this house, it's Lilt. Oh my goodness. This is a very green peachy, I believe coconutty scent. It's so naturally green that it kind of gives me gas. I'm not just saying that. Trust me, guys. Kind of like it gets my stomach upset every time I smell it. But if you like green fragrances, you would love this one. It's really nicely done green scent. I think it's totally unisex. I believe it's marketed toward women. All those white packages, fragrances, mostly marketed toward women. But I don't know. It just didn't work well to my digestive system. So that's why I don't like it, and it's one of my most hated from this house. But nevertheless, if I had to suggest or recommend a very original green fragrance, I would probably suggest, what's the name of it again? Lilt. This is my top 5 from this line that I absolutely love. My number 5 from this list is my absolute safest scent. Honestly, when I first sprayed it on, I thought it was nice, but it wasn't really anything special. It was a little flat for me. But once I wore it one time during the daytime in the heat, and it really worked out well for me, and I thought, this is a phenomenal fragrance. And that fragrance would be Allegria. Allegria is another fresh, green, very minty, soapy fragrance. When you first spray it on, you just gotta get this very big glass of natural mint. It's very refreshing, and it's green at the same time. But then it turns into a very soapy fragrance. One of the, I would say, soapiest fragrances that I ever smelled. I would say it's a very safe work scent in my opinion. And it's very pleasant and it's very refreshing, especially in the hot summer days in my opinion. I really like this fragrance, and I'm probably gonna have to get myself a bottle for next summer. It's just because I really think it's really great. My number 4 is a fragrance I loved as well, and that fragrance would be Silhouette. This is a very leathery, sandal, woody type of a fragrance. It's dark, mysterious, but pleasant at the same time. It reminds me somehow, when it dries down, of Dark Rebel by John Varvatos. As a matter of fact, a lot of those dark fragrances here, they somehow remind me a lot of John Varvatos. They don't smell like any John Varvatos scent in my opinion, but it just got that John Varvatos badass type of vibe. Silhouette, definitely, if you're like a sandalwood, a leathery type of guy, you have to check this one out, because I feel like this one is really nice. My number 3 on my list is Panera. This is, I think it's a unisex scent, even though it's got a white packaging. This is freaking phenomenal, guys. It's a very boozy vanilla with leather added into it. It reminds me somehow, it's not identical, but it just reminds me a little bit of 1270 by Frapin. But this is like 10 times better, and it performs wonderfully. That's why I feel like it beat Silhouette on the number 3 spot, because I feel like this one performs better than Silhouette. This one lasts on me like 12 plus hours, and it's a very pleasant scent in my opinion. If you like boozy, I believe it's got rum. If you like boozy, vanilla, leather type of fragrances, you'll definitely love this one, Panera. And don't shy away because of the white packaging. I feel like it's totally unisex. My number 2 on my list is another badass fragrance, and it calls Tundra. It's a little not similar to Silhouette. It's got some similarities because of the sandalwood and cedarwood notes. But this one has got, I believe, blueberry added into it as well. I think it's freaking phenomenal. And that's my most worn fragrances. My sample is almost gone. Why is that? I only worn it once, to be honest. And that time when I worn it, I sprayed it and I didn't smell anything. I thought it was like really light, and I just kept on like spraying until I almost finished my 2 ml sample here. But once I left the house within like, I would say, a minute later, I was like really projecting big time, and it was really nice. And I remember, even though I was like really projecting, it wasn't overwhelmingly strong. It was strong. It was going far of my skin, but it was smooth at the same time. It's I believe it's got sandalwood, it's got cedarwood, it's got blueberries, but it's got a cooling effect as well. It's definitely a phenomenal scent, and it's definitely on my to-buy list. Longevity wasn't bad, but it wasn't the greatest at the same time. I believe I got like around 6 hours of it, which is fine for me. But smell-wise, I think this is freaking phenomenal. If I have to relate this fragrance to something that you guys can relate to, I would say maybe Sacred Wood. It's not identical to Sacred Wood at all whatsoever, but it's got that woodsy vibe that Sacred Wood has, or any Comme des Garçons, like Wonderwood, or those type of fragrances. It's just got that vibe into it, but it's not identical to any of those fragrances. But that's just kind of like an example of how this fragrance genre like. And there you go, guys, my number one favorite scent that I really love from this house, and I think it's 10 out of 10. And I have to get this bottle ASAP. I need it for the fall and winter. It performs wonderfully on my skin. It's one of the best incense based fragrances that I personally ever smelled. It's a very, very well executed incense based fragrance. If you really love incense, probably should check this one out. But at the same time, even though you don't really like incense based fragrances, this is not a really harsh incense. It's dark, it's definitely dark, but it's really well crafted that it's pleasing for I would say for most people, in my opinion. It's even my wife, who hates incense, she liked this. She liked Tundra and this fragrance, and those fragrances kind of like dark. So I thought maybe she wouldn't really like them, but she really did enjoy them. And if I have to recommend a fragrance that it's a must try from this house, I would say Tundra and Embers, or Embers with an E at first. This is phenomenal, guys. It's very ambery as well. Amber is not listed, but definitely you can smell the sweetness from the amber. Very incensey, very spicy. And the spiciness here, it's a very sexy spices such as the clove and the nutmeg. Those are one of my favorite spices that I can tolerate and I do enjoy, and I think they make any fragrance sexier. And there's a lot of nutmeg, a lot of cloves combined with the incense and the sweetness from the amber. That's how it smells like. It's dark but pleasant at the same time. Performance, it's phenomenal. It stays on me like 12 plus hours. It's not the loudest. It's, I think projection, it's moderate, but you don't want a really dark fragrance like this to shout out loud. People definitely would smell it on you, and especially when you move around. It's got like a really nice sillage goes with it. I love it. Definitely, this is on my to-buy list. I really want it for my fall and winter. They run for, I believe, like 130 or to 170 for a 50 ml bottles, which I think it's a not bad pricing wise for the quality. I feel like this fragrance really resembles the badass or the artsy type of a guy that I really wanna pull it off somehow. So this is pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys again for watching, and I believe they gave me a coupon code which is 20% off. They gave me that a while back, and they told me until the end of August. So I'm just gonna leave the link like in the description down below if you guys want to check it out, which is I highly recommend. This is definitely one of my favorite houses of the year. I enjoyed this house a lot, and there's a few of those fragrances that they are on my to buy list with my own money. So I got nothing to do with it. I'm just recommending this for you guys if you wanna try it out. Peace.
But to love you is to